So the policy itself has the discretion, through the rating process built into it. That is what I think Chairman Robbins is speaking to is that, we know throughout this process that we, based on, whatever is in front of us for that fiscal year, what we need to do. And so by not tying our hands to specific percentages, this commission has the discretion to make comments to the department. And I feel very, very comfortable that the department is going to be listening to those comments and taking those things into account and putting together the final plan. And so I don't want to have any hands for the commission to be tied to a fixed percentage. We need to be already built into the policy, and I hope that the commissioners will see that having flexibility is much better than having 100%. You really are going to have a hard time trying to convince anybody that for any particular year you absolutely need to have 70% on ground control programs.
Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think with setting a percentage, I understand what Commissioner McBeath is saying, and I believe if my numbers are right, with the last year's projects in the plan came out, it was 72% of the money to be spent on predator control projects, which is very close to the proposal of the 70%. The way I see it is that if a percentage is in the policy, that guidance that goes to the department in preparation for the plan would be in place. Commissioner Bliss touched on it. Without a percentage in there, the committee deals with the projects that were brought forth by the department, which may not, and in this case, the first time it came through, was not at the 70% level till the numbers were changing. So I think this would give us a tool to follow, a policy to follow on what the general idea is before the projects are submitted by the department to the committee to evaluate. So with that in mind, I'm ready to make a motion whenever the chairman is.
Can I make one more comment, and then I'll let you into your motion? Commissioner McBeath brought up that it is the department's plan. And I had discussions with our prior director, and I spoke to about it with the current director. It is the department's plan. But in saying that, the department works with the commission. And on something that is obviously heated as this and emotionally charged as this, the best thing we can do as a department and a commission is publicly vet these issues and make sure that the department and the commission are on the same team. So when the darts start coming, we're standing together and not opposed. So even though it's a department plan, I fully expect, and I know that current director also agrees with it, that we're going to work together on this to come up with the best product that we can both defend, the commission and the department. So, do you have anything to add to that, Director Walsley?
I agree with you, and I think this year and last year both, we ended up with about 72% of those funds going to legal control projects. And with the projects that were brought to the commission, that probably could have been anywhere from 40 to 100%. But it was the guidance, the decision of the commission to put it where it was, which ended up at 72% each of the last 2 years. And that's the process through county advisory board input and the opinions expressed here. I think one of the challenges that we may encounter with a hard percentage is that we discuss these projects as though they're either or. Either it's a lethal control project, or it's a habitat project, or it's a research project. But a lot of times they're one and the same. The monitoring component, whether you call it research or whether you call it monitoring, as required by us as we do these projects, where do you draw the line between lethal control and research when they're in the same project? So it could actually complicate things. I understand the intent, and I think the process as it stands now allows for the commission to provide that input, and I think that's why we've ended up at 72% with lethal control projects each of the last 2 years.
Okay, any other comments before we get to a motion? Seeing none? Commissioner Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion to approve policy 23 as written with the changes of adding 70% of the money to be spent on legal control projects, and on number 9, the language in coordination with, on page 7.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Bliss. Any further discussion on the motion? Commissioner Drew?
I won't be supporting the motion, but in saying that, I will say that I do appreciate Elton County's suggestions. I think it was a constructive one. I think the process is bore out that we basically achieved that recommendation the last 2 years, and I believe in the process going forward. And I guess if more cabs maybe had recommended this coming forward, this would be a little harder decision for me. But I guess the onus is on everyone in the room that if that's where you want the money to go, work with your department folks locally, your cabs, and Wildlife Services, and Mr. Jensen and his folks to come up with good projects and have some measurable outcomes and goals. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But we can always change it if we get down the road and the process isn't working. But I'd like to see the process go forward from here and see how we can do, because I think we've done a fairly decent job the last 2 years, and that's accounting for some things that we continue commitments on that were made prior to part-time.
Any other commission comments? Seeing Commissioner Moore?
One thing that I believe I missed in the motion, and maybe whatever we have to do to clear that up would be a minimum of 70%, in case there was a misunderstanding on that.
Okay, is that understood by the second, a minimum?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Can the ayes please raise their hands so we can get it on the record? Bliss, Wallace, Moore, aye. All those opposed?
Yay.
Clean, McBeath, Rob, Drew, McNish. Motion fails. We have another motion.
I'll go ahead and make the motion. I move to approve Commission Policy number 23 as written and proposed at this meeting, with the exception of the change to paragraph 9 of the Predation Management Plan, which would strike in the first line the words "submitted by" and add after the word "reports" the following 3 words: "in coordination with." And so that first line reads, "The department shall review reports in coordination with all contractors and cooperators."
Everybody understand the motion? Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner McBeath, second by Commissioner McNish, comment by Commissioner Drew.
Just a clarification, Commissioner McBeath, that would include the revisions that you provided earlier in terms of numbers 10 and 11 there.
I believe the policy was put forth with all of those changes already in it, and so my motion is to approve it as it's written here with these changes. And so all of those changes that I had mentioned are already in
And then I guess the only other thing I would offer, and I don't know if you want to incorporate it in as a friendly amendment or if I should make an amendment, but I like Clark's idea of adding a table with the schedule at the end. I don't think that's a substantive change, it's just a summary so everyone understands what the schedule is as this process goes forward.
Actually, I thought that was a good idea too, and what I, in lieu of that, in lieu of putting it in the policy, because the policy already has, dates in there, was, I was gonna speak to Pete and I have somewhere on the website where we have that, information, so it makes it easier to, whenever we condense all those critical dates and put something together, and so that could be something that the Wildlife Damage Management Committee can work with the department to put together and get on the website. So I would rather do it that way, give us more flexibility.
That works.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Commissioner Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The question I have for you, you're the guy that put your signature on the policy. With the way the policy is written, are you comfortable with putting your signature on it?
I'm going to be voting for it today, which means I am comfortable.
Thank you.
And to follow up with that, I saw the amount of time that the committee spent on it, and I personally know each one of the committee members and have full faith in what they've done. I know that it was a long task, and I appreciate the time they put in the process and went through, so I am very comfortable putting my name on this thing.
Well, and at this time, I'm scrambling in my mind to figure out, because this policy, make no mistake, it doesn't contain some of the stuff that I would like to see in there. However, I know how many hours we spent on it. I know where we started, and I know where we're at right now. And there was a considerable amount of effort, and so I believe that I will support the policy because of that fact.
And I'll follow up to that. Am I comfortable with everything in it or not in it? No, but I know the process it went through. I think to an individual in this audience or anybody reading this, they could see something they like and don't like. And that's just part of being on a board and a commission, and it's gone through the process, so I'm comfortable. Commissioner McNish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, I think it's, if we end up with a split vote, I think it'd be too bad if we didn't have a unanimous vote, but at the same time, based on the conversation, I understand the dilemmas that some of the fellow commissioners have. I don't look at it as a vote against the whole plan. I know where you stand on, based on our conversation. I know there's little things that might prevent you from accepting it and stuff. So I think that we've come off the wrong ways. I share a lot of Commissioner Drew's thoughts on it. I was going to make a comment about Elko. I'm glad you guys, glad to see you back talking about this stuff, and it was a good discussion. It's an interesting discussion on setting minimums and stuff. So we haven't had you for a while, and I'm glad that you guys are engaging again at that level. I appreciate it. So however this vote goes down, I respect you guys for whichever way you vote. I know this is a tough one, and it'd be nice to all be on the same page to recognize the work that went into it, but I've been in that position once in a while, and I understand it, so it's just my opinion.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yeah, just real quick, I know what's gone into it. I've attended a couple of the meetings and wasn't even there for the full meetings and know the hours that you guys have put in. I'm not gonna vote no on it just out of spite. I mean, that's not how I am. I understand. And I guess when it comes time to look at these projects, if we're not nearing that upper number, I'm gonna feel like I need to say something about it. So that's where I'm at.
Commissioner Bush.
We have spent hours and hours, seems like days and days and days, really on this, and, although I do strongly support that 70%, in there, I do agree with a lot of the other parts of the policies and the work and time and effort that's been put into it. But in the future, if this year, it was a struggle to get 70%. Trust me, it was tough. And our goal wasn't to just get 70%. It was just trying to figure out what some of us thought was the right projects to do. It had nothing to do with that number. But when the next year's project's coming out, if there's good projects on the table, and it is as difficult as it was to get to this point, then I am definitely going to push hard to try to get some kind of percentage in there for some part of the guidance tool. Remember that.
Commissioner McBeath.
I remember back, our first committee meeting, and just how hard it was to start the process to get everybody focused on what it was we were doing and get everybody looking at the actual statute that we were dealing with. And it was a process that I felt involved education of the committee of all of us, and it involved numerous, questions to our DAGs to determine, what it was we could do and we couldn't do, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this committee has spent the most amount of time on doing things. I have members on this commission have spent hours and hours and hours on bear and traffic issues, and so I'm not going to go there. We did spend our fair share of time on this policy, but the process that it went through, I think, results in a policy that is going to be very workable. I think we'll find that it has the flexibility to get us where we need to be, and everybody's input. Certainly the commission is giving guidance, but when you look at the policy, it allows for input from everybody. And so I think it's always good to have more people in the boat, at the table, making these decisions as to how we spend our sportsman dollars. And so I'm very comfortable with it. I'm very satisfied with the commission and the CABs and all of their stakeholders who are going to be involved in putting these plans together in the future so we get to the right answer. And if we're going to have control programs, I think the policy is going to hopefully make sure that those programs are showing results, and that will help us defend our actions and our decisions to spend this money on these kind of programs. They're controversial, and so I feel that we got where we need to be, and certainly time will tell. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I am saying that through this process, we've gotten to a point where I think we can put our name on it, and if through the process, as we go through it, it's determined that we need to make changes, then this commission, I'm sure, will do the right thing and through the process, and involving the public and all the stakeholders involved, and get to the right answer.
Okay, any other comment? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Let's take a 15-minute break and come back.